Hello, this is Greg House from Green Greg's coming to you on 8 August 22. Time on deck is 18:54 hours Central Daylight Time. My friends, as we sit here in the midst of the anniversary, the first ever use of nuclear weapons in a war, 77 years ago, we attacked Hiroshima on the 6th of August and Nagasaki on the 9th of August. As we sit in the midst of that sad anniversary for the people of Japan, well, my dad thought it kept him out of war. At least to jumping into Japan, but that's another story. As we said in the midst of this anniversary, we are in the midst of nuclear blackmail and potential nuclear war. Once again, 77 years later, we seem to be forgetting the dangers and the horrors of this kind of warfare. And so what you need to know on the blackmail side, of course, you all remember when the Russian invasion of Ukraine started, you know, Vladimir Putin said he was on high alert and threatened if anybody were to interfere in his invasion, that he would attack with nuclear weapons. And the Russian media has made a lot of threats about that to the West. And there's been a lot of hints that they might use tactical weapons in Ukraine. And that still appears to be live. Now, if you doubt that they would ever do such a thing, consider the new level of nuclear blackmail which has just arisen. Russia actually threatens to blow up the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, and they're saying that the plant is already wired with explosives, and this is according to ATACMS, who is the state operator of nuclear power plants in the Ukraine. You got to remember, there are still Ukrainian people managing that plant, even though it is under the control of Russians. Russians took that plant back in March. So get this, this is what Russian Major General Valery Vasilev has to say about it. He says, there will either be Russian land or scorched desert. He goes on to say, as you know, we have mined all the important facilities of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, and we are not hiding it from the enemy. We warn them. The enemy knows that the station will either be Russian or no one's. We are prepared for the concerns of this step. He says, if the toughest order comes, we must fulfill it with honor. What's that mean? That means, according to him, they're prepared to blow it, to blow the whole plant. Guys, it's estimated that this would be at least 10 times worse than Chernobyl. This is the largest nuclear power plant in Europe, one of the largest ones in the world. It has 6 reactors. There is hundreds of tons of spent fuel rods in those cooling pools and also in dry cask all around that nuclear power plant. On the 6th of August, there was a missile attack that landed near the dry cask storage facility, which really alarmed a lot of people. Both Ukraine and Russia are blaming it on each other. Now, which side fired, I don't know. But another thing that is true is that Russia has been mounting a lot of their forces there, and they have actually been reported to be firing from that position, using the nuclear power plant as a shield in the hopes that no one would fire back at them there. So it's really hard to say what's going on. But the other thing that is very concerning is that the Russians have accused the people in the nuclear power plant of hiding weapons in the bottom of the spent fuel rod pools. And so they have tried to coerce the plant operators into draining the pools to go look for those weapons. Well, that's about the stupidest darn thing I ever heard of. And I'm going to tell you why it's stupid. One, any weapons put in the bottom of a pool like that would be irradiated beyond any hope of use. The second thing is, how are you going to retrieve them? The third thing is this. If you drain those pools, you expose that zircaloy cladding to air. And I've shown you in reports from Sandia National Laboratories how it burns on contact with air. That is the stupidest darn thing I've ever heard of. You know, it's kind of like the movie Beneath the Planet of the Apes, where the gorillas have taken down the doomsday weapon and are jumping all over it. You know, they don't know what the heck they're doing. A bunch of monkeys and apes on a nuclear doomsday device. It's about what it boils down to, guys. This is idiocy. And I don't care what you think about Mama Russia. That's stupid. That is stupid. And here's another thing. They've been coerced, and they say they got to keep the plant operators, because the plant operators are the ones that know how to run that plant. But they've been under coercion, duress, and getting beaten for ever since March. 5 months now. These people almost, well, 6 months. These people, I mean, 4 months at least. These people have been enduring a lot, and they're probably near the breaking point. You need operators of a nuclear power plant to be sharp, clear-minded. If there's an accident or a problem, they got to be on the top of their game and to keep a disaster from happening. But how are they going to keep a disaster from happening with all the coercion, with all the military threats, with them being just exhausted and worn out? They don't have a full staff there. In fact, several people that have been members of that staff have been injured. So, yeah, and are no longer with them. So it's a sad situation there. It is a sad situation. I don't care what you think. There's nothing redeemable or justifiable about the coercion and the kind of activities going around that nuclear power plant. So that's why I say, if they're willing to commit those kind of things, if they're willing to use nuclear power and nuclear power plant and to threaten to blow it up is coercion, whether they really mean it or not, that's just zany. That's stupid. I got no other words for it. That is nuts. It's off the chart. Not good. Okay, having said that, I want y'all to realize that I hope that war comes to an end, but it's going to be hard to see any peaceful resolution to it, because Vladimir Putin, his reputation's on the line, and the dictator, when they lose power, lose face, they usually lose their lives. And so it might make him more, if Russia should get pushed out, more likely to, or if they're having a real hard time, more likely to go with the tactical nuke option within Ukraine. Now, that don't mean it wouldn't be contained in Ukraine. That doesn't mean it's going to spread to the rest of the world, but they've certainly made a lot of threats on the West. So who knows what's in their minds and their hearts and what they'll do. But when you combine this with the dynamic of what's going on in Taiwan and the potential that China might attack our forces there in a Pearl Harbor operation to keep us from intervening in Taiwan, which has been suggested by multiple sources, we're in dangerous ground, especially if Russia and China collaborates. And North Korea could chime in. We've already been talking about attacking Iran. Who knows? They might wait till we attack Iran, then they all make their move. Yeah, we could get into it really deep, guys. What we need to do in the world right now is to tamp down as much tension as we can to prevent World War III. If we can get through the next 10, maybe 20 years, the risk will drop down dramatically because of the change of demographics. I've explained that before. I can go into it more in the future. And one other thing I want to go into is this. Tomorrow night, I've got I got David Pyne coming on my channel again. He was real popular in the last video, and just check him out. He's going to be talking about this situation with Taiwan and hopefully trying to defuse it. You know, he and I may not see 100% eye to eye, but he's definitely a guy who thinks out of the box, and he's doing everything he can to bring up what we can do to defuse a lot of these situations. And he is a close associate of Dr. Peter Vincent Pyne. So stay tuned and watch tomorrow night for that show. And again, I'm not for war. I'm for us trying to find ways to avert this. I do believe in peace through strength. A lot of people misunderstand. I've had people come into my chat rooms and, great, why are you advocating war? Why do you want to go to war with China? Why do you want to attack China? Yes, blah, 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 bad. You know, talking, especially people that are bad about the United States. And I'm going, this ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't want war. But I do believe in peace through strength. And right now, I think the reason we're having all these problems is that we got too weak, and everybody sees it. The sharks smell the blood in the pool, and they're going for it. And that's a sad thing. But hopefully, if we can just hold out. No, I'm not saying the United States is, you know, innocent as white-driven snow. No, 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 no. But, you know, by and large, at least, I'd rather have our system than what China's doing. And I've gone to that in the past. If you need me to, I'll go into the future. Now, if you disagree with what I'm saying, instead of just, you know, like a lot of people, they just, you know, automatically, you know, unsubscribe, blah, blah, blah. Leave comments below. If you don't like what I'm saying, complain, gripe about it. Let's hear it. If what I'm saying don't agree with your worldview, let it out. Shout. Say so below. Put it out. You know, put it down. You know, and if you do agree, also say something. Look, what I need, you know, guys, go ahead and have a conversation with each other in the chat room. That's a good thing. A little debate, a little discussion. That's what we need. We got to ask ourselves, you know, what is it really worth to go into World War III with major nuclear powers. But how do we keep them from being tempted to launch a first attack on us, a first strike? Right now, they're very tempted to because they can do it and win. I've talked about that. Dr. Peter Vincent Price talked about that. That was my subject of how can Russia beat the United States and take Alaska. It's been a topic of Dr. Peter Vincent Price many times on my channel and also on Canadian Prepper. He brought that up there too. So check it out, guys. But I'm trying to promote peace, believe it or not. That's the whole object here. Because there's good people in every hamlet, village, nation of every race, color, and creed on earth. But there's a whole lot of people trying to lead us down a pathway to you know where. So my friends, let's hope it don't go there. Let's remain vigilant, prep. And we can always go to freedomrestorationfoundation.org and find ways to contact your Congress critters and tell them what you think, whether you agree with me or not. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Y'all take care, and let's hope and pray these things don't come to pass on the worst side. Greg out.